Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. You're watching footage shot with the ultra-wide camera of the OnePlus 12. This ultra-wide camera is pretty good. It has a half-inch sensor, which is a larger sensor than what's in the iPhone or the Galaxy S24 Ultra. You also have a new camera, Sony LYT-808. Actually, this is not new. It's the same camera as in the OnePlus Open, but it's still a newer sensor than what Samsung or Google or Apple is using. So this main camera, you do have a new, this time is really new, it's a periscope zoom lens, a 3x periscope zoom. Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So this is the OnePlus 12, and this phone may be the best value phone selling in the US right now. So the official retail price starts at $800 US, but OnePlus has a permanent offer that will knock at least $100 off if you trade in any phone in any condition. So you can send in a completely broken iPhone 3 or a 20-year-old flip phone and still get at least $100 off. So this phone basically starts at $700 US. For that price, you get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, a triple camera system with a periscope zoom lens that has a larger sensor than what's in the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, Google Pixel 8 Pro, and the iPhone 15 Pro Max. And you have a 6.8-inch OLED display, 2K resolution, 120Hz refresh rate, LTPO plus panel, and maximum nits of, I believe, 1800s generally, but then portions of the screen can get up to 4500 nits for HDR content. You also have a 5400 mAh battery in here, which is the largest battery of any flagship phone selling in the US, definitely. Oh, and the battery also charges at 80-watt speeds with the included charger, and there's also 50-watt wireless charging too. So all the specs and components are top-notch, and it starts at $800, basically $700 if you take advantage of that offer. In terms of overall design, the OnePlus 12 keeps the design language established first in the OnePlus 10 and then refined in last year's OnePlus 11. You have this circular camera module that spills out to the side and blends into the aluminum frame. I really like this look, and I like that this year the green colorway I have, I believe this is called like emerald green, has texture on it that gives it like finish almost like a piece of marble, like a piece of gemstone. It feels very classy, and the phone is relatively, well, I guess some people would say it's heavy, but at 220 grams, that's not too heavy for me, and 9.1 millimeters, so not too thick. It still curves on the left and right side on the back and the front, so it's a very comfortable in-hand feel. However, I do agree that this design now feels a little bit dated in 2024 because the trend is obviously everybody's going with the flat panels and the boxy vibe. So if you have to ask me which phone stands out more by just looking at it, I would say the S24 Ultra with the titanium frame and the kind of boxy, aggressive monolith look. However, these corners always dig into my palm, so the OnePlus 12 is more comfortable to hold. There's also an alert slider on the left side and a power button right here on the right side and a volume rocker above it. You have a USB-C port down here, dual SIM tray, and a speaker grill down at the bottom and here in the earpiece, so you have stereo speakers, and then you also have an IR blaster up top too for Flossie Carter. Now, I guess the biggest question to ask for a lot of Americans is, how does this phone fare against the Galaxy S24 series? So since this phone is $800, you would think it should be compared against the base model S24, right? But no, because all the specs here are way better than the S24. It has a higher res panel, much larger battery, a much better zoom camera, so the S24 can't even compete with this phone. So realistically, the OnePlus 12's direct competitor is more actually the S24 Plus or the S24 Ultra. I would slot the OnePlus 12 somewhere in between the S24 Ultra and the S24 Plus. I wouldn't say it's better than the S24 Ultra, but I think this phone outperforms the S24 Plus too. So this is an interesting situation. You have an $800 phone that is better than Samsung's $1,000 phone. In fact, you need to go to Samsung's $1,300 phone just to compete with the OnePlus 12. However, the Galaxy S24 series, including the Ultra that I'm testing, introduces a bunch of new AI features, some of which are generative AI on device, and they're quite useful and practical for real-world use. The OnePlus 12 unfortunately doesn't bring anything like that. The software here is fine. Overall, the phone performs perfectly fine, but this seems to be a phone that's like jack of all trades, master of none. There isn't one really catchy, attention-grabbing feature like with the S24 series' AI capabilities. But despite that, if you use your phone mostly for just photos, gaming, texting, sending emails, and just, normal smartphone stuff like making a call, the OnePlus 12 definitely gets the job done and keeps up neck and neck with the S24 Ultra in many areas, including the zoom. So even though this phone has a longer 5x zoom, if you take 10x zoom photos side by side, the results are really close actually. The S24 Ultra's 10x zoom is probably a little bit better, but it's close. As for main camera, it's also very close. That's because the OnePlus 12 uses a new Sony LYT-808 sensor. I believe it's the same sensor as used in the OnePlus Open. But OnePlus, in the last few months has fine-tuned the algorithm a little bit more. So HDR of the main camera is on point. And even though the sensor size is only 1/1.4 inch, so it's not the largest sensor around, it's a pixel stacked sensor, so it kind of makes up for the fact that the sensor size isn't as large as what's in the iPhone 15 Pro Max or the S24 Ultra. Just look at the samples side by side. I think for main camera, the OnePlus 12 keeps up with the S24 Ultra neck and neck. The only difference you really see, it's different color renditions. For colors, I do like the S24 Ultra shot a little bit more. It's just a little bit more natural to me. And OnePlus, like Oppo phones, tend to brighten up highlights quite a bit in low light shots. The Periscope zoom lens here has a 1/2 inch image sensor, which is a larger sensor than the zoom lens in the iPhone 15 Pro Max, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, or the Google Pixel 8 Pro. It's also a 64 megapixel camera, so the combination of the relatively large sensor and more pixels allow OnePlus to do an in-sensor crop to produce a 6x zoom that is pretty much lossless quality. In fact, if you compare the 6x photos captured by this phone against the 5x photo captured by the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Galaxy S24 Ultra, you'll see that the OnePlus 12 keeps up neck and neck with the S24 Ultra and beats the iPhone pretty handily in most cases. The iPhone shot always has more noise. Video quality is pretty good too, just check it out for yourself. Alright, so watching telephoto footage. Back out to main. This is main camera. Ultra wide. Back to main. I'm gonna walk up some stairs right now. So just handheld going up some stairs. The ultra-wide camera is a 48 megapixel sensor, and I find the images here to be better looking than the S24 Ultra's ultra-wide camera. So this is a pretty good ultra-wide lens. Front-facing camera too, 32 megapixel. It does a good job of exposing my face in the background, and it can shoot in 4K 30 resolution, which a lot of Chinese phones cannot do. On the software front, this phone runs Oxygen OS 14 based on Android 14. You guys, if you watch my videos, you will know that I am a fan of Oxygen OS / Color OS. I love the ultra fluid animation. Check out the notification shade when I pull it down. I always feel like this animation right here of this notification shade coming down and going back up, it's noticeably smoother than most other phones that I use. I mean, this is just very pleasing to my eyes. Oxygen OS / Color OS is also full of customization. You can, double tap on the screen to lock, double tap to turn it on, draw a circle on the lock screen to launch a camera. The in-display fingerprint sensor is very fast and accurate. Overall, the software experience is very enjoyable. You're able to launch an app in a floating window or split screen multitasking. Being able to launch an app in a floating window is huge, and it really frustrates me that I can't do this on an iPhone or Pixel phone. I can multitask on this easier than I could on most other phones. However, like I said earlier, one of the biggest selling points of the Galaxy S24 Ultra, it's a bunch of new AI features, including I can long press on the navigation bar to immediately draw a circle to search for that thing showing on my screen. I have real-time two-way translation on here. I have generative AI photo editing. A lot of these cool features that makes the S24 Ultra very fun to use, it's unfortunately missing in the OnePlus 12. And the thing is, the OnePlus 12 can run it because all these AI features of the S24 Ultra, they're not exclusive to the hardware. They're all software driven, a lot of it by Google, to be honest. So the fact that this phone's also running Android 14 and also has native support with Google, you should in theory be able to get a lot of those AI features here. But it's just, unfortunately, OnePlus probably doesn't have the close partnership with Google that Samsung does. And Samsung, has a bigger market share, bigger budget, so Samsung's able to convince Google to give them some exclusivity in the AI features. Like, for example, this, circle to search thing, it's not even a Samsung feature, it's a Google feature. Like, this should be available on the OnePlus 12, but it is not. So overall, I would say the S24 series, if you care about the AI features, is still a more polished overall experience. But if you don't use the AI stuff, this phone keeps up with the S24 Ultra in every way. The zoom lens is basically as good. The ultra wide camera is better. The main camera, it's almost every bit as good. The display is arguably better. It gets a little bit brighter. It has a higher PWM. And battery life too. 5,400 milliamp hour battery definitely lives up to that size. So I've been using this phone pretty heavily for the past like 9 days. Every single day I will finish with at least 20-25% battery life left. And I am a very, very heavy user. I'm always filming, always texting, always editing videos on the fly to post on Instagram. So the fact that this phone finishes a 13-14 hour day with 25%, it's better than any other Android phone I've tested in recent memory. I think only the iPhone 15 Pro Max can compete with the OnePlus 12 in terms of overall battery life. I think the iPhone 15 Pro Max is probably still a little bit better, but this is probably the best battery life of all the Android phones right now. So overall, the OnePlus 12 is a very polished all-around smartphone at a very attractive price in the US. Like I said, the base model S24, which is the same price as this phone, is a completely inferior device. This phone really needs to be compared against the S24 Plus and the S24 Ultra. And I think it beats the S24 Plus too, because that phone doesn't even have a periscope zoom lens. So really, it's going against the S24 Ultra. And the cameras definitely keep up close. The display keeps up close. They run on the same chip. This phone has a larger battery, faster charging. So really, it's pretty much neck and neck. I would still give the overall edge to the S24 Ultra for having a S Pen stylus, for having a unique titanium frame, and for having all the AI features. But really, this phone keeps up very close. This is $1,300, this is $800. However, one thing that will completely be in Samsung's favor is that Samsung has US carrier support. So if you're an American, you can walk into AT&T, Verizon, and get this phone. Carriers, they will give you all these discounts. If you sign up for a 2-year contract, they might give it to you on like a monthly installment plan that's quite affordable. So that will make this phone a little bit more appealing than the OnePlus 12. If all things were equal, if you're buying direct, the OnePlus 12 is a better option than the S24 Ultra for a lot of people. So yeah, that's about it for this review of the OnePlus 12. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot. I have a lot more content coming, including the S24 Ultra review, a bunch of camera tests, and there's a bunch of phones coming around the corner because MWC is almost here. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.